Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Son Young-jang. I'm an associate professor of Hansol University of South Korea and very glad to present to you. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a study on subjectivity on organ donation of nursing students. This is content. Introduction. Owing to the developing of new diagnosis and treatments with the advancement of modern medical science, many diseases that used to regarded as impossible to be treated in past are cured now, and especially the organ donation that has started being developed since the 1950s, established as the treatment for patients with end-stage organ failure in the advanced countries, and it is also recognized as a treatment that could increase the quality of life. To solve the shortage of organ donation, the following countries are developing and effectively operating diverse organ donation vitalization programs such as latent brain death report system, aggressive organ procurement program, support for family and active national promotions. It is reported that the number of brain death organ donation is gradually increasing through these programs. There are not many researchers on organ donation targeting the nursing students, and as a methodology that could understand the characteristics of its type in accordance with the subjective structures of human originated from donors' perceptive instead of researchers' assumption. The Q methodology is a proper research method for verifying the type of nursing students' perception of organ donation by considering the subjectivity of the subject, as the nursing students' perception of organ donation is their subjective and unique experience. Thus, this study aimed to provide the basic data necessary for developing the differentiating educational program in accordance with characteristics of each type of organ donation, targeting the pre-service nurses before going out the nursing site, where the organ donation is successfully performed by understanding the subjective structure of organ donation in the perspective of nursing students. The objectives of this study are to provide the data to nursing students who start the organ donation by examining the type of subjective perception and the characteristic of the type of organ donation, targeting the nursing student by applying the Q methodology, and also to provide the basic data for suggesting the strategies when educating the nursing student who just start the organ donation. The concrete objective of this study are as follows. The nursing students' subjective perception of organ donation is classified. The characteristic of each type of nursing student's perception of organ donation are analyzed and described. This is study method. To account the objectives of this study, after considering the literature, media data, and proceeding research on organ donation, this study finds the subjectivity viewing the type of subjective perception on organ donation, targeting in nursing students who have experienced organ donation. In order to extract the effect of organ donation and comprehensive state focusing on the current nursing students, the pure population was drawn through the consideration of domestic and foreign relevance literature, open ended questionnaire, and individual in-depth interview. Through this process, the top of drawing total 3 areas and about 200 pure population. This study drew about 100 pure population by integrating the collective literature through the consideration of domestic foreign literature. Going through the procedure of viewing and modifying the extracted pure population, finally total 46 samples with high discrimination were selected. This is a sampling method. As a P-sample, this study selected the total 20 nursing students who voluntarily agreed to participate in this study after fully explaining the objective of this study to them. This is slide shows QMAT classification process and method. 20 nursing students, the time for each participated to complete classification was from 35 to 50 minutes on average. Data analysis was performed via Q-corner PC program, and Q-factor analysis utilized principal component factor analysis. The mean and the standard deviation of components were analyzed utilizing SPSS 21 program. This is the result. In the result of analyzing the subjectivity on organ donation by using the PC corner program, there were two factors which explain the need 45.33% of total variety. The factor 1 was 34.23%, and the factor 2 was 11.1%. As the factor 1 has the explanatory power as much as 34.23%, it could be regarded as the factor that explains the organ donation the most. The type of subjectivity on organ donation produced by this type analysis method could be suggested as follows. In the characteristics of the type 1, they thought that the sharing the experience or preliminary education of organ donation would have positive effects on the organ donation. They thought that it would be necessary to secure organ for transplant through various methods for vitalizing the organ donation in accordance with the increase of organ transplantation, and the promotion of organ donation would be important for this. They said that the public service advertisement or the improvement of people's perception could increase the organ donation, and the permission of granted donation would bring a new life to many people. However, they did not aim to increase the organ donation to their own families. Thus, the Taiwan was named the time of seeking for vitalization measures for organ donation. The second type is type of pessimism. The second type is type of seeking for institutional support. In the characteristic of the type 2, they thought of vitalization measures for organ donation considering the characteristic of organ donors. They thought that the probability of organ donation would be high in case of brain death patients. They also judged that there would be more organ donation in case when married or having children. They thought that the surgery would be avoided due to the influences of Confucianism in Korea. They thought that the people with religion would show the highly tendency of organ donation based on their dedicated belief. Even though they thought that the organ donation could be institutionally encouraged by public service advertisement, they did not aim to recommend the organ donation to their own families, as there would be a lot of their medical treatment. Thus, the type 2 that was still showing this perception was named the type of considering the characteristic of organ donation. This is the discussion. In the result of this study, the type of subjectivity on organ donation perceived by nursing students were divided into type of seeking for vitalization measure for organ donation and the type of considering characteristic of organ donors. And this study aimed to discuss the characteristic of each type. The type 1 shown in this study was type of seeking for vitalization measures for organ donation. They think that the organ donation should be increased as the organ transplantation is increased. Thus, they are preferentially considering the method to solve the shortage of organs. Also, they think that each individual has autonomy of body selection and self-discrimination in most important than other surrounding influences. They thought that the vitalization of organ donation through education or public service advertisement could be supported in national level, and also judged that the number of domestic organ donors would increase in case when they are institutionally supported. The type 2 was the type of considering the characteristic of organ donors, they think that the tendency of organ donor should be considered as the organ donation is necessary for organ transplant. They thought that the organ transplant could be vitalized if the proper policy would be established by setting up strategies based on analyzed on tendency of organ donors. The active concentration would be needed in the level of institutions or government. This study on subjective could be used as the basic data of organ donation support program that grabbed attention recently. Moreover, it could be used as the basic data for the development of differentiated educational program by suggesting the subjective structures on perception of organ donation and characteristic of each type, targeting the nursing student as a pre-service medical personnel. However, this is targeting only one college and could not select the research select by considering the factors have effect on perception of organ donation, so that it would be limited to generalize the result on this study. Thus, it would be needed to additionally verify the type by composing the Q sample equipped with various backgrounds through further research. This is conclusion. This study provides the basic data necessary for introducing or applying policies for vitalizing the organ donation support program in future by classifying the nursing students' subjectivity on organ donation. Based on research on this study, analyzing the type of nursing students' perception of organ donation and also verifying the characteristic of each type, the educational program could be developed by considering the characteristic of each type. This study also suggested additional research on the analysis of type by selecting sample consideration various factors, and also qualitative research for verifying various factors have effect on the nursing of the subjects of organ donation. Thank you very much for your attention. Do you have any question? Thank you.